There's no outro. I mean intro. I got an outro. I
It
got no
just
intro.
it just makes me mad.
What? We're here. It's season
Th-
4. Why are you upset? It's season 4.
this is good that we're
Season
here
4.
for season 4. And you know what? It took a while
It took a
of
while.
going through some conversations that we had about different topics, which I enjoyed every single stinking one of them. Talking about salt, talking about sugar, talking about paprika, talking about oregano, talking about boiling points, talking about we talked about all kinds of stuff. And then we talked about gravity, and I learned some things while doing the research, figuring that out, that just showed what an honest to God fraud
Mm-hmm.
Isaac Newton was.
Isaac Newton
Yeah,
is a
him.
Fig Newton fraud.
Total fraud. He's a fake
Like,
Newton. He is the fake news of his time. And it is garbage. And I
is he
am
Donald Trump?
so looking forward to he's Isaac fucking Newton. And
Oh,
he's you know what? Isaac Newton
yeah.
was a kinetic scientist.
So what's that mean?
It means he had no potential.
Yeah, he sucks.
He lacked potential.
He sounds
But
like a lot of guys I know.
seriously, he was a garbage individual.
He's trash.
Have we started? Are we going?
Look, I'm working on intro songs and stuff.
But we started, right?
So,
All
but look, so we have the ability though to play intro songs, right?
At
So
the intro.
at the intro, yes, of the show. But it is a really cool thing, and you have to respect the gangster of the intro.
I totally respect that. Tell me what you need.
Okay, so
Because I'll tell you
Fig
about this psychopath wannabe pseudoscientist Isaac Newton. Whenever you're ready. Calling gamma rays.
See, this is so cool, right?
What?
Like everybody can you hear that?
Yeah.
You can hear what is he saying?
Calling cigars.
Satellite cigar. That's like that. See, this
satellite
is how
satellite cigars.
we can play music during the show, and I can do it really low like that. Oh, that's off. See?
I'm glad you're getting
now
that
you can
figured out.
talk. Okay.
I'm glad you're getting that
Alright.
figured out,
I'm
Mr.
working on
OBD.
it. This is gonna be
Captain Omie D. So I want to tell you. So
okay.
Isaac Newton,
Newton.
Mr. Newton, Mr. England. Daddy died, raised by a
Alexander
stepfather.
Hamilton's homeboy.
No, no, this is England, 1600s. No, not Alexander.
They both wore
Alexander Hamilton. No, different.
They both wore their white wigs.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. But they weren't no, this is like 2 centuries different.
Okay.
All right. So he raised by his stepdad who he didn't like. His grandmother tried to raise him, but he was in an awful school, spent all his time focused on making sundials, like sticking sticks and things and being like, look, I'm a baby scientist. And they were like, you're a dork. Yeah, total dork. And they thought it was cool because he was young and it was like the 1600s. But they didn't really know that he wasn't a scientist. All he was doing is exploiting the sun and figuring that out. That dude is a clown.
That's his real hair?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
That's awful. I know a guy. Look at that. Look at that.
So
you can't believe anybody.
They treated him like he was making some sort of fancy ass watches when all he was doing sticking sticks in the ground and saying that, oh look, I'm an inventor.
So, wait. This was when they were learning about time and they were telling people about time?
No, he was a kid playing with sticks, trying to be a scientist. But my point is that then he goes on to university and he studied Descartes, he studied Galileo, people who were actually doing mathematics. Descartes, Galileo, the math that was defining the actual time, defining the movement of the planets, defining calendars, all the math that was going into that, real math that he just stole and projected as his own. Yep. So he goes into the Royal Society, which is like the super smart people in England. Mm-hmm. And all he wants to do is talk about light movement, which we know from Einstein isn't a thing, okay? And so, let alone this little pseudoscientist, Newton couldn't do it. So he's laughed at because he's trying to reproduce some cool stuff, but he can't. And all he's doing is regurgitating Galileo. And they call him out on it, and he goes off and he hides for 20 years.
Because he invented a sundial that looked like this.
Basically, it probably didn't even have numbers on it because he was just a kid and didn't know. And he goes and hides by himself for 20 years because he's like,
wait, time out. Pew! These people made fun of a kid and then he ran away.
No. They praised him as a kid for sticking sticks in the dirt and going, look, a sundial. Like, oh, you're a genius. And he went, oh, I'm a genius. Goes to university. And they're like, no, dumbass, you're not a genius. They're making fun of you for your sundials. And so he has to go into hiding for 20 years because he realizes that he's stupid, unlike the mean people that raised him and told him, oh, you're such a smart little Timmy. You and your sundial, Timmy, it's awesome. Oh, you're harvesting the power of the sun. No, it's called a shadow. Timmy's an idiot. And you're going to send him off to school thinking he's smart, which is what they did. And Newton failed miserably at the Royal Society and got kicked out for 20 years.
He sounds like a lot of kids in school right now. So he sucked at college and got kicked out for 20 years.
Yep.
Right. All right. So Newton is like Kanye West. Gotcha.
Yeah, he's like out. He's like out. And then this dude from Germany, Gottfried Leibniz, posts a bunch of math describing calculus and the movements of planets. And it's new stuff. It's exciting stuff. And so Newton shows up. And guess what Newton says? Newton says, I did that 20 years ago before I went away. Like, I totally wrote what this guy's saying he wrote, even though that Leibniz.
Wasn't that the guy from that's the same name from Inglourious Bastards, right? Wasn't he one of the Inglourious Bastards?
Maybe. It might be Brad Pitt or
no, Brad Pitt was there to kill Nazis.
So Newton pops up out of nowhere to say this Leibniz guy is a fraud. I actually wrote what he said he wrote, even though you haven't seen me in a while, and I was bullshit before, but that's actually my math. And they didn't like it. They didn't like it all. Newton struggles so hard to prove his math that he actually ended up discovering 3 laws of motion and put his Newton's 3 laws of motion out and actually got acclaim for coming up with some math, all because he was trying to prove that Leibniz is wrong and he was right. So his theories sucked. His attempts to steal shit sucked. Yeah. But he wrote 3 laws of motion and had like a moment of glory. And in that moment of glory, guess what he does?
He celebrates?
He celebrates by going into politics.
Yeah. See, you know what I figured out? You know what I figured out about this whole thing?
What?
It was Sergeant Hugo Stiglitz in Inglourious Bastards.
Oh,
wasn't Leibowitz.
No, Leibniz.
Yeah, I was thinking Hugo Stiglitz. He played
Stiglitz.
And then
Adrian Caplet.
Frederick Zoller. This is an interesting movie, Inglourious Bastards. Anyway, so Newton.
So he goes into politics because he's got a little hot moment of fame from his 3 laws of motion, which he was only trying to write to prove somebody else wrong that actually wrote stuff for themselves. But Newton said, no, that's mine, and try to prove it. But he couldn't. So he goes into politics and is a good politician because he's full of bullshit. And they put him in charge of the British Royal Mint. All the money is what this dude is now in charge of.
Okay, so we got
this clown is in charge of all the money. And so when he's in charge of the money,
hey, I did it.
Guess what that gives him?
If he's in charge of the money, it gives him all the monies.
All the monies and power. And so this lying politician, pseudoscientist Newton, with all the money, but now power and people moving around, decides that he's going to be the head of the Royal Society because a politician with money just gets to decide, I'm now in charge of all the science across the country. And they do. And they
Well,
put him in charge of this.
that happens. Politicians get to decide stuff.
They put him in charge of the Royal Society, and he goes up and forms a committee, making sure that that committee votes to say officially that it is him that wrote all the stuff that Leibniz wrote. And they oust Leibniz and make sure that they proclaim to the world that, oh yeah, when Newton was gone for 20 years, he actually wrote that stuff that somebody else wrote, but it was him because he's got all this money and power and political savvy. Like, we'll give him that, but he doesn't have science. And so he steals Leibniz stuff.
So he still Levy's. He steals Leibniz stuff,
Yeah.
and then he tells them that they can't wait. What did he tell them?
He told him that that was actually mine because he's got the money and everything. But then by this time he's old, so he's got his power and his fame and whatever. And Newton, so they say, was so obsessed with being a good scientist and turned out to be a bad one that he never had sexual relations.
So he's a virgin.
Oh, he died one because he goes to his deathbed a virgin, and nothing wrong with that, boys and girls. I'm just saying, if you're a stupid scientist, that's how you're gonna die. So he goes to his deathbed, and on his deathbed,
you see that? See that?
It's a funny name. It's funny.
It's like
Are you okay? Are you listening to my story? So he goes to his deathbed.
See, I'm right there with you. It's like a big hat. It's funny though.
I like it. I do. I really do. So he goes to his deathbed, and on his deathbed, he says two things.
Yes.
Two more bullshit things.
What did he say? More bullshit on your deathbed?
More bullshit.
What kind of Mitch McConnell bullshit is this?
So he says that in 2060, Jesus is coming back.
Jesus Cristo.
Half your head is gone. So he says that in 2060, Jesus is coming back, which I guess technically we haven't proved wrong, but there's no scientific evidence of it. And he tells this story about an apple. Do you know the story about the apple?
That it fell off the tree, and that's how they made the cookies.
The Fig Newtons. So
Fig Newtons.
So on his deathbed, he decides that at one point in time he was sitting underneath an apple tree and an apple fell and attacked him. And so he invents, not discovers. He did not discover because there's no gravity. So remember, Galileo, the Mayans, everybody had calculations for the planet's movement, not just our planet, but all the planets and the stars and the sun and everything. All this is already calculated without the need for this bullshit concept of gravity.
Yeah.
But on his deathbed, he says that Jesus will be here around 2060, maybe February, March. I don't know. And there's this thing called gravity that had a tree throw an apple at my head. And they're like, okay, Mr. Dying Rich Man. And they believe his shit.
Was he even rich in the beginning of his life, or did he just get rich because he has all that money?
He got rich because he was put in charge of money.
So he didn't even have money. He just had other people's money, and
right.
And then
right, but he's just a fraud, all around fraud. He stole people's work. He got lucky with his 3 laws, and made up a bunch of shit before he died because he was going loony. And one of those things was this thing called gravity. And why it stuck, I don't know. Maybe because he was the head of Royal Society, and they're like, "Oh, Newton, we love Newton. Anything he says, we're just going to believe." Like he says that. You should inject yourself with bleach, then maybe he's right. He says that this and this and this should happen, then maybe he's right because he's clearly smarter than scientists.
Look. Did you ever shut up? Did you ever see this from PBS?
Are we allowed to play that?
Watch. 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 Watch.
What?
Watch. Watch this. Let's watch this.
I don't know what's happening.
You're gonna totally flip your shit.
No, but he's not.
He's got a
smart.
TV show. He's got a whole TV show.
No. It's not okay. It's not okay. Do they talk about what bullshit he is? Are you all right? It's a dinosaurs, and I don't get it. Either way, this dude is a joke.
So
you should go to the No Gravity Society. Go to nogravity.org. Buy a T-shirt.
I like the shirts. I'm a member of the No Gravity Society.
This is true.
I am member number 2.
No, you are not. Are you?
I am member number 2. I'm the second. That's what my card says. I'm number 2.
You're a card-holding member of the No Gravity? I don't think so. Do we have a sponsor?
We do have a sponsor. This is
You're right.
We're gonna
all right.
This is the best sponsor.
Episode 1, everybody. Episode 1.
That was Newton's Law, everybody. That was the best. Newton's Apple. If you ever saw that show on PBS, it was awesome. Today's sponsor is Omie D's Nuts. The finest quality nuts from DeSoto, Texas. $1 for a handful. Whether you want to keep them for yourself or share at the Christmas office party, Omie D's Nuts are packed tight with flavor. Check them out, OmieDsNuts.com. And remember, it's bad manners to talk with your mouth full. That was our sponsor today, Omie D's Nuts. Yeah. So we want to... Is it wrong that I sponsored my own show today? I mean, I think I can do that.
That was you? That did not look a thing like you.
It's pecans. It's Texas. Who doesn't like pecans? Just go to OmieDsNuts.com. Put them in your mouth. Order something for your mom for Christmas. You know, hey mom, what did we get? What they got you? These nuts.
This guy.
OmieDsNuts.com. It's great.
This guy's amazing.
Go check them out, everybody. Welcome.
Check out Omie D's Nuts. Also, go to nogravity.org. Check on some merch, read some articles. We got some articles on there so that you can learn about Newton, the fraud that he was. You can get a clowning Newton tee. Find us on the
I need
Twitter.
to order me one of those since I'm the second member.
I don't think so. There's a list on there. I don't know if that's where you are.
You better check the list, buddy. I'm number 2, and whoever number 1 is, they should have sent me a postcard for joining and said, "Hi, welcome to the society." But yes, No Gravity is bullshit. I mean, Newton is bullshit, and I will never eat fig Newtons again because I really thought that the fucking apple fell on him while he was a young man and doing shit.
No, it didn't even happen. He lied about it on his deathbed. That in Jesus 2060, like running Jesus 2024. No, Jesus 2060. Hey, next time I'm going to talk to you about what happens if the Earth stops spinning. Bless you. If the Earth stops spinning. That's our conversation on episode. Are you all right? So you had an intro. Do you have an outro? Do you need some help?
I was trying to get my hand under the reunion tower. Isn't that a beautiful scene?
Are you high?
No, I'm like, what?
Oh, sorry. This is a random question.
All right, so look, we're going to go to the outro. It's been a great show. We appreciate everybody listening and watching from all the stuff.
Did everybody listen?
From everybody that I know.
Turd Ferguson.
DJ Omie D.